The day begins with the familiar routine. I wake before dawn, my body trained to rise at this hour. The room is dark, except for the faint light filtering through a small window near the ceiling. It turns not much, but it tasks enough to see as I move silently to the meditation chamber. The space is spartan and clean, with no distractions beyond the essentials. A cushion, a few scrolls, and a water bowl. The air feels cool against my skin, carrying a slight chill that reminds me of early mornings in the training hall. I sit on the cushion, closing my eyes as I begin to meditate. The rhythm of breathing is constant, a steady pattern, broken only by the occasional thought that slips through. It is not difficult to push these away. They are part of the process, and so too is their absence. The room remains quiet, save for the distant hum of machinery, somewhere in the facility. I finish my meditation before leaving the chamber, making my way back to the quarters where I store personal items that fit within the rules. There is a small container with clothing, another with basic necessities are shaving kit, toothbrusher, and a few scrolls and notes from past lessons. Today is like every other day in this phase of existence. The schedule is clear: meditation, training sessions, meals, chores, and then more training until it is time to sleep again. There are no surprises, only the expected cadence of life under these conditions. I dress quickly, mindful of maintaining neatness. My robes fit well, but feel less like a uniform than an extension of my body now. Now, they are clean and pressed as is required. The halls outside my quarters are silent when I leave, which is typical for this early hour. The corridors stretch out in front of me, dimly lit by panels set into the walls at regular intervals. Each panel casts a soft blue light that illuminates enough to see, but not enough to be glaring. I head towards the training room, my footsteps echoing slightly on the polished floor. When I arrive, there are others already present here, fellow Padawans and instructors who move through their routines with practiced ease. The air is thick with the scent of sweat and the sound of metal against metal as weapons are sharpened or checked. Training starts promptly. Odoma's first light. We begin with sparring drills, moving in pairs to practice defensive techniques and reflexes. It is rigorous, but not unpleasant. Each session is a chance to hone skills that might be needed someday. After the morning sessions, I attend classes on history and philosophy. The instructors are stern but fair, delivering lectures that seem designed to reinforce values of discipline and obedience. They discuss ancient texts and moral principles, without ever questioning their relevance in the current era. Lunch is served in a large communal hall, where we eat together quietly, following strict etiquette rules about eating and conversation. The food is simple vegetables, protein, some bread, always prepared to nourish rather than satisfy personal preference. The afternoon brings more training sessions, and then individual lessons with my master. These are less formal, but no less rigorous. Each session focuses on honing specific abilities or addressing weaknesses. My master critiques my techniques sharply but fairly, pushing me harder each time. As the day progresses into evening, there is a sense of routine that feels both comforting and oppressive. The halls are more crowded now, as others return from their own activities. I pass by groups gathered for meals or socializing in small clusters, but I rarely join them. The schedule leaves little room for personal interests. Any free time is spent either resting or preparing for the next darts regimen. There is no space for hobbies or pursuits outside these strictures. Dinner is served early evening, again in the communal hall with its rigid rules and quiet atmosphere. The food tastes familiar by now, a comfort as much as sustenance. Afterward, I return to my quarters to review notes from classes and practice techniques learned during the day's sessions. Before bed, there is always meditation. The room is dark once more, but the routine is ingrained enough that it does not require conscious effort. My mind drifts through familiar patterns of breathing and focus, ending each session in a state of quiet readiness for what tomorrow will bring. Sleep comes easily under these conditions, a deep rest where dreams are rare or fleeting, if they occur at all. When I wake again, the cycle repeats itself without deviation. I report for duty at the designated time. The routine is as familiar as the air I breathe. Each task flows into the next with practiced precision. My identity is not a question of who I am, but what I do. In the morning, I conduct maintenance checks on the machinery. The tools are stored in their proper places, and each screw turns smoothly under my fingers. There is no room for error. The system demands perfection. I perform these tasks without hesitation, knowing every detail by heart. Later, I attend briefings where objectives are outlined with clarity. My role is clear: execute orders efficiently. The procedures are ingrained in me, a seamless extension of my being. Compliance is not a choice, but a necessity. Throughout the day, I interact with others who move through their tasks just as mechanically. Conversations are concise and focused on duties. Personal connections are rare. Interactions serve only to facilitate our roles. I document progress meticulously, ensuring that every detail aligns with protocol. Reports are filed without delay or deviation. The data flows in a constant stream, each entry contributing to the greater whole. Evenings bring a sense of completion, though rest is brief and structured. Sleep protocols ensure readiness for the next cycle. Dreams do not intrude. My mind remains focused on the day ahead. I am this function because this function is happening. There is no room for deviation or questioning. The system operates flawlessly, and I'm an integral part of it. The hum of the machinery is a constant presence in my quarters. It starts as an insistent drone, slicing through the silence with its regular rhythm. As I begin, my morning routines are preparing rations, reviewing schedules, and initiating diagnostics. The sound is impossible to ignore. Yet, with each repetition of these tasks, the background noise gradually fades into the backdrop. I move from one station to another, each transition marked by a slight variation in the hum's pitch or intensity. The initial sharpness dulls slightly as I focus on the data stream, scrolling across my console screens. My hands glide over controls with practiced precision, and my mind filters out the persistent buzz, compartmentalizing it alongside other irrelevant stimuli. The sensation of the floor beneath me is another anchor in this routine. It bears the weight of countless steps, taken along the same path each day. The pressure points on my feet shift subtly as I walk, but over time these physical cues become less distinct. My body adapts to the familiar terrain without conscious effort. Light flickers intermittently across the room as automated systems cycle through their checks. Each flash of illumination is a brief punctuation in an otherwise steady stream of darkness and dimness. The transitions are predictable, and my awareness of them diminishes with each passing moment. Temperature fluctuates subtly throughout the day, but I am attuned to these changes only marginally. Heat rises and falls, according to preset protocols, yet it no longer demands my attention. My skin adjusts without complaint, merging the extremes into a neutral state that requires no active regulation. By midday, the hum of machinery has receded from conscious awareness entirely. It remains present, but now it is merely part of the atmosphere, rather than an intrusion. I complete another cycle of tasks with mechanical efficiency, my focus shifting seamlessly between screens and protocols without pause or hesitation. The rhythm of life continues to flow around me, like a steady current, carrying me along its predetermined course. Each day merges into the next with seamless precision, and the sensory details that once commanded attention now fade into insignificance. My existence is calibrated for this routine, and each repetition reinforces the familiarity that keeps it normalized. The hum of machinery echoes through the vast corridors, a constant rhythm that dictates the pace of existence. I move alongside others, our steps synchronized with an unwavering precision. The floor beneath my feet is cold and unyielding, yet familiar in its texture. Each step feels like part of a larger pattern, a seamless extension of the surrounding structure. As we navigate through the hallways, the walls blur into indistinct lines, their surfaces blending together without distinct features. My gaze drifts from one end to another, noting only the functional necessity of each space. Doors open and close in perfect sequence, timed with our arrival and departure, as if guided by an unseen hand. The air is filled with a faint whisper of movement, a collective flow that carries us forward without resistance. Each person I pass blends into the background, their presence noted, but not acknowledged beyond functional necessity. Our interactions are brief and mechanical, marked only by the exchange of necessary information and tasks assigned through shared protocols. Light flickers predictably overhead, casting shadows that shift with our progress. The illumination is consistent, its pattern unchanging, a backdrop against which daily routines unfold without variation. As I walk, my senses register the environment in discrete, isolated segments. The pressure of boots on tile, the soft click of door mechanisms, the distant echo of voices merging into ambient noise. Tasks are assigned and completed with practiced ease. Each action flows from one to another in a continuous chain of efficiency. Efficiency. My role within this system is clear, my purpose defined by the protocols that govern every aspect of existence. The self becomes interchangeable, a cog in a vast machine without distress or complaint. The day progresses with meticulous documentation, each entry recorded with precise detail. Data streams into terminals as smoothly as water through channels, feeding an ever-growing network of information. Padawan. My contributions are small but essential, part of the intricate web that sustains this ordered world. As routines continue mechanically, sensory inputs recede further from consciousness, merging into a normalized backdrop. The edges between individuals blur, dissolving into coordinated movement without individual distinction. Each person is a transient element in an endless sequence, their presence and actions blending seamlessly with those before and after them. Completion arrives as predictably as it did at the start, marked by the final entry of data and the last action checked off the list. The cycle ends, preparing for another round of routine that begins without pause or delay. The day progresses with a steady rhythm, each action following the last in unbroken sequence. My movements are efficient, my thoughts aligned with the prescribed tasks. The hum of machinery provides a constant backdrop, its cadence familiar and reassuring. I document my progress meticulously, each entry precise and devoid of emotion. Interaction with others is brief, transactional. Words exchanged serve only to convey necessary information without lingering on personal connections. I move through the corridors, the floor beneath me steady and predictable. Doors open and close automatically, guiding me along predetermined paths. The air conditioning maintains a consistent temperature, neither too warm nor too cold, ensuring comfort without distraction. My eyes scan screens filled with data, my fingers moving across interfaces with practiced ease. Each keystroke is met with acknowledgement from the system, confirming completion. As I complete one task and begin another, there is no sense of urgency or delay. Time itself seems to flow evenly, each moment seamlessly blending into the next. The world around me feels stable, every element in its place. My mind remains detached, observing without judgment, accepting the routine as it is. There is a quiet satisfaction in this unchanging order, where predictability and repetition offer a sense of peace. I reach my workstation and sit down, ready to engage with another set of tasks. The screen lights up, displaying information that requires analysis and processing. My fingers hover over the keys, poised to begin. As I start typing, there is no room for deviation or contemplation. Each action is a continuation of the established pattern. The day continues without incident, every element falling into place as expected. There is an underlying sense of sufficiency in this routine, where fulfillment comes from adherence and efficiency, rather than personal ambition or desire. The environment remains constant, offering neither challenge nor reprieve, but simply a framework within which to function. As I proceed with my tasks, the day winds down, without fanfare or conclusion. The environment dictates the rhythm of my existence. Each day is a series of predetermined tasks, executed with exacting precision. The strictness and impersonality are not arbitrary. They serve a functional purpose within this vast system. Efficiency is paramount, ensuring that resources are allocated optimally, without waste or redundancy. Every interaction adheres to protocol, minimizing unnecessary emotional engagement. This reduces variability in outcomes, allowing for predictability and consistency. Personal identity becomes secondary to the collective function of the entity I am part of. My role is well defined and essential, contributing to a larger operational framework that requires uniformity and discipline. The routines are ingrained through repetition, making them second nature. Each task flows into the next without disruption or deviation, maintaining optimal throughput. The lack of spontaneity ensures predictability, which in turn facilitates effective management of resources and personnel. Every action is justified by its necessity within the structured system, where deviation would introduce inefficiency and compromise overall stability. The environment itself reinforces these protocols through constant reminders. Lights flicker with programmed precision, walls hum with mechanical regularity, and air vents circulate with calculated efficiency. These elements form a backdrop of unchanging consistency that supports the procedural framework. It supports the procedural framework. The self adapts to this setting, merging seamlessly into its rhythms without resistance or complaint. Distress is not an option. It serves no functional purpose here. Acceptance of the system demands fosters a sense of peace and order. The mind remains observant but detached, focusing on tasks at hand rather than questioning their rationale. This neutrality ensures that each day progresses smoothly, with minimal interference from emotional or personal considerations. In this context, harshness is not an imposition of cruelty, but a necessary condition for the system's optimal functioning. The rigidity maintains order and prevents chaos, ensuring that every component operates in harmony with others. Adherence to protocol is a collective effort towards achieving efficiency and stability, where individuality is sacrificed temporarily for the greater good. As I move through my day, each task completed adds to a sense of fulfillment derived from consistent performance rather than personal ambition. The self remains interchangeable within this vast machine, contributing its share without seeking recognition or reward. This acceptance, coupled with adherence to established patterns, ensures that daily life proceeds with unremarkable precision and efficiency. The strictness and impersonality are not perceived as oppressive, but as necessary conditions for the system's efficacy. Each element of routine serves a purpose in maintaining operational integrity, making deviation counterproductive and disruptive. The environment itself is designed to reinforce this functionality, ensuring that every individual aligns seamlessly with its demands without resistance or emotional disturbance. In this framework, efficiency is not just a goal, but a fundamental principle guiding all actions. Tasks are executed with meticulous attention to detail, contributing towards the larger objective of maintaining order and stability. The self is part of an intricate network, where each component's role is crucial for overall functionality. This understanding fosters a sense of calm and acceptance, allowing daily routines to unfold without emotional attachment or personal interpretation. The system operates as it must, with no room for deviation or sentimentality. Each element serves its purpose within this vast machinery, contributing to the seamless functioning of the whole. The self remains neutral, executing tasks with precision and efficiency, finding fulfillment in adherence rather than questioning the rationale behind these demands. The morning routine begins as expected. Well, Architect, Mrs. Archderendenal, Adama Scientadesian, Idao, Aldawa, Darkleistevelon, Darkstovos, Chaos. Units are through the report for their assigned task with precision and efficiency. Each unit represents a specific function within the system, contributing to its overall throughput without deviation. The environment is designed to minimize variables. Each task has a set duration, an error margin, and a defined outcome. Unit 1,234,567,1890, a familiar identifier, performs maintenance on Sector X-13. This unit's cycle time aligns perfectly with the system's requirements, ensuring that all components remain operational within their specified parameters. Any deviation from this standard is noted and addressed immediately to maintain consistency. Units are not individuals, but rather parts of a larger mechanism. Each one functions as intended, contributing to the seamless operation of the entire network. The data they generate provides clear metrics for performance evaluation. Success is measured in adherence to protocols, not personal achievement or failure. The system's need for efficiency dictates that all units operate at optimal capacity without unnecessary emotional interference. Emotional content is recognized as an error margin, a deviation from the norm that disrupts the smooth functioning of the system. It is therefore essential to maintain a neutral state, focusing on tasks and outputs rather than subjective experiences. Units are recycled or reassigned based on performance metrics. This process ensures that the system remains balanced and predictable. Each unit's contribution is valued for its alignment with the required standards. Accuracy accounted on required standards. The cycle continues without pause, driven by necessity and functionality. In this framework, personal identifiers hold no significance. Units are interchangeable, each serving a specific function within the larger machine. The abstraction of individuals into units simplifies decision-making processes, reducing moral discomfort to mathematical logic. Every unit's task contributes to the greater efficiency of the system, making the collective more resilient and adaptable. The environment reinforces this detachment, aligning each unit with its designated role. Distress is an anomaly, a deviation from the norm that disrupts the ordered flow of operations. By acknowledging emotional responses as errors, units can focus on their assigned tasks without unnecessary interference. In summary, adherence to protocols ensures consistency and predictability. Units operate within defined parameters, contributing to the system's throughput with precision and efficiency. The abstraction of individuals into units simplifies decision-making processes, maintaining functionality without moral or emotional considerations. The hum of machinery fills my quarters, a constant reminder of the intricate network I am part of. The rhythmic thrumming is familiar, its cadence predictable and soothing. As I prepare for another day of routine tasks, the usual sounds are accompanied by an increased whirring from nearby systems. It is not unexpected. Today's workload is more demanding than usual. The air conditioning unit oscillates slightly louder, a subtle change that signals the onset of higher operational requirements. Obstacle requirements. My body adjusts accordingly, knowing that this level of noise is indicative of the environment, adapting to meet its demands efficiently. The ambient light flickers ever so slightly, another sign that power distribution is being managed dynamically to support current needs. As I move through my tasks, each keystroke and gesture feels more deliberate, calibrated to handle the increased load without faltering. My hands glide over the controls with practiced precision, the tactile feedback from surfaces providing a reassuring sense of control. The screen before me displays data in a steady stream, each byte processed methodically as if choreographed. The sensation of strain becomes noticeable, but not disruptive. Etor's akin to a gentle tug on the strings that keep me tethered to this system, reminding me that I am merely one component among many. This is how it should be, each part functioning at its peak capacity to ensure the whole operates smoothly and without hesitation. My breath comes in steady intervals, aligning with the pace of my work. The rhythm of the machinery and the cadence of my breathing mesh harmoniously, creating a symphony of functionality. There is no need for complaint or resistance. Every element here is designed to perform at optimal levels under varying conditions. As I complete each task, there's an internal acknowledgement that this level of effort is expected and necessary. The system is functioning as intended, and my role within it is critical to maintaining equilibrium. Each moment heightened activity serves a purpose, contributing to the greater efficiency and reliability of the entire framework. This is not discomfort, but confirmation, proof that the system is working precisely as designed. My part in this intricate dance continues without pause or deviation, ensuring that every component operates seamlessly alongside its counterparts. As I move through my daily routines, each action is a step toward fulfilling my designated role within the system. The hum of machinery in the background provides a comforting rhythm that aligns with my internal clock. Today's tasks are no different from any other day. They demand precision and adherence to protocol. There is a moment where a fleeting thought disrupts this routine. Brief hesitation, an unbidden question about the necessity of these actions. It feels like a minor malfunction in the otherwise smooth operation of my mind. The system does not dictate correction, but it is clear that such interference must be addressed internally. I acknowledge the doubt and immediately rationalize its irrelevance. My role within this framework is essential. Deviation from protocol would introduce inefficiency and potential error. Any emotional or questioning thought serves only to disrupt the seamless function of the larger system. Therefore, these thoughts are identified as errors in processing and corrected promptly. The correction feels responsible and professional. The correction in the showing work halfway back beyond. Then I continue with my tasks, each movement deliberate and purposeful. The environment reinforces this mindset. It is a place where predictability and efficiency reign supreme. My focus remains on completing assigned duties without deviation or distraction. Each task completed brings a sense of fulfillment and alignment with the system's requirements. This internal correction feels like an adult addressing a minor interference, ensuring that all operations proceed smoothly and efficiently. There is no room for doubt in this environment. Adherence to protocol ensures continuity and reliability. I move forward, reassured by the familiar rhythm of my actions and the unwavering logic of the system. The system is correct. There are no questions, only tasks to be completed with precision and efficiency. Each action aligns perfectly within the framework of established protocols, ensuring continuity and predictability. The environment hums around me, a constant reminder of my place in this meticulously designed machine. Distress is an illusion. Adherence to the system brings clarity and fulfillment. I move through routines without hesitation, each step reinforcing my role as a critical component of the whole. There are no emotions to cloud judgment or disrupt the flow. The environmental's demands are clear, and I meet them without question. Success lies in the absence of deviation, in the seamless integration of individual performance with collective efficiency. The logic is unassailable. Every task completed strengthens the system's reliability, ensuring its continued operation without interruption. There is no room for personal discomfort or moral quandaries. They serve only to disrupt the order that sustains us all. The system is vast and impersonal, yet it functions flawlessly through adherence to protocols and strict adherence to roles. I am a part of this intricate mechanism, performing my duties with precision and discipline. Any momentary thoughts of dissent are swiftly corrected, aligning me once again with the necessary requirements of the system. Comfort comes from predictability, from knowing that every action contributes to the greater good, as defined by established rules. In this environment, being right is synonymous with being correct. It's just direct. There is no room for doubt or questioning, only fulfillment in the absence of disruption. The system's demands are clear, and I meet them without hesitation, finding satisfaction in my adherence to protocol. This is how it should be, and there is peace in its simplicity. The routine continues seamlessly, each task blending into the next with no discernible break. The environment remains constant, its hum a steady backdrop to my actions. Protocols guide every movement, ensuring efficiency and precision. There is no need for mental separation between tasks. They merge fluidly, one leading smoothly to another without pause or hesitation. Adherence to procedures brings a sense of order and clarity. Each step follows logically from the last, creating an unbroken chain of functionality. The system's demands are met with ease, reinforcing my role within it. There is no room for disruption. Every action aligns perfectly with its requirements. The familiar cycles repeat without variation, each iteration a reaffirmation of purpose. My focus remains unwavering, directed solely toward the tasks at hand. Emotions remain dormant, irrelevant to the ongoing processes. The environment as consistency offers comfort, ensuring continuous alignment with the system's needs. Tasks flow uninterrupted, merging into an endless stream of compliance and efficiency. There is no sense of time passing. It feels as though each moment seamlessly transitions into the next without pause or distinction. My actions continue with unwavering precision, reinforcing my place within this meticulously designed framework. I begin another shift at the facility, my movements automated and precise. The routine starts as always. I head to the monitoring station, taking a seat in front of the control panels. My fingers move fluidly over the console, initiating diagnostics on the systems that oversee the complex machinery surrounding us. The diagnostic results are consistent with previous runs. No anomalies or malfunctions detected. I proceed to the next task, which involves reviewing the data logs from the past cycle. The process is familiar, scrolling through the files, highlighting any irregularities for further examination. There are none today, so I mark them as clear and move on. Next, I select a maintenance schedule from the system's database, choosing between several options that all led to identical outcomes. Each choice updates the status of equipment and systems, ensuring they remain operational and efficient. The selection process is mechanical, devoid of preference or consideration. My hand moves over the interface, clicking through the available schedules without pause. After confirming maintenance requirements, I enter the supply management system to check inventory levels for necessary parts and materials. The stock remains adequate as it has been in recent cycles, so I proceed with ordering replenishments. Again, my fingers navigate the menus, selecting from predefined lists of items that all serve the same purpose. Each selection is made without thought or hesitation. Moving forward, I review personnel assignments for the day's tasks. Names and faces populate the screen, each assigned to their specific roles within the operation. The allocation process is straightforward. I match individuals with responsibilities based on their skill sets and availability. Assignments are confirmed one by one, each choice seamlessly integrated into the workflow. As the morning progresses, my routine continues uninterrupted. Each procedural decision leads directly to the next task without deviation or contemplation. Time blurs, merging into a steady stream of actions and verifications. I attend briefings and meetings, taking notes and offering input where necessary. The discussions are productive, yielding clear directives for implementation. Throughout the day, my choices remain procedural, each one a step forward in the process. There is no room for deviation or alternative paths. Every selection aligns perfectly with the established protocols. The sense of order and clarity remains unbroken as I move through the tasks without pause or reflection. As evening approaches, I wrap up the day's activities by reviewing completed work orders and preparing reports for submission. The summaries are compiled automatically, reflecting the seamless execution of duties throughout the cycle. Each entry is reviewed and finalized, ensuring accuracy before final transmission to higher authorities. The shift concludes with a routine checkout procedure, confirming all systems are stable and operational. My hand moves across the console one last time, initiating the shutdown sequence for my station. The screens dim to black as I stand up from the chair, transitioning smoothly into the next phase of the cycle. The hum of machinery fills the air, a constant drone that guides my actions. Each task follows seamlessly from the last, precision blending into routine. The monotony of the day blurs together, time slipping away, unnoticed as I move through established protocols without deviation. A low buzz begins to infiltrate the background noise, a faint but persistent vibration that catches at the edges of my awareness. It taunts, not intrusive enough to disrupt the flow, merely an added layer to the sensory tapestry. The hum grows slightly louder, a minor disruption in the otherwise unbroken rhythm of work. I adjust subtly, shifting focus to compensate for the interference. Tasks continue as they should, but there's a slight tension now on, something to be worked around rather than ignored entirely. The buzz remains consistent, a constant reminder that even within the ordered system, there are subtle variations to navigate. The day progresses in this altered state, each action carefully calibrated to maintain efficiency despite the minor disturbance. The hum persists, a steady presence that requires no overt acknowledgement, but demands attention nonetheless. Adjustments become second nature, seamlessly integrated into the routine without breaking its unbroken flow. As evening approaches and tasks wind down, the buzz remains a constant backdrop. It does not detract from the sense of order and clarity. Instead, it adds an element to be managed within the established framework. The day concludes smoothly, ending as predictably as it began, with the persistent hum marking its passage without disruption or distress. Routine tasks continue without pause. The hum of machinery provides a constant backdrop, a familiar presence that blends into the background noise. Adjustments are made instinctively to account for minor disruptions, ensuring efficiency remains unbroken. Each action flows smoothly into the next, maintaining an unwavering adherence to established protocols. Time blurs as moments blend seamlessly together in an endless stream of precision and order. The persistent buzz becomes a manageable presence, its intrusion handled with practiced ease. Adjustments are made to compensate for any irregularities, ensuring that tasks proceed without interruption. Each movement is precise, each step calculated, providing a sense of control and stability within the unbroken flow of work. The day concludes predictably, ending as it began, with the hum marking its passage as a consistent reminder of routine's unwavering nature. The hum continues, a familiar backdrop to the routine. Adjustments are made automatically, compensating for minor discrepancies with precision. The day progresses in its usual cadence, each task blending seamlessly into the next. There is no deviation from protocol, no room for hesitation or questioning. A shift occurs without notice, an irreversible change settling into place procedurally. The hum intensifies slightly, but remains tolerable, a constant presence marking the transition. Adjustments are made instinctively to accommodate this new state, maintaining efficiency and order. Routine tasks continue with mechanical precision, the sense of control unwavering despite the subtle alteration. Time blurs, as moments blend together in an unbroken flow. The hum now carries a hint of permanence, yet it does not disrupt focus or coherence. Adaptation is seamless, and the day concludes predictably, ending as it began, with the hum marking its passage as a manageable presence. The narrator feels calm and controlled, immersed in the familiar rhythm of tasks, accepting the new reality without resistance. The constant hum serves as a reminder of continuity, reinforcing the sense of order and clarity that defines the routine. Time flows fluidly, connecting one moment to the next seamlessly. The day begins much like any other. Resto and Ashton, much like any other. I rise from my bunk and proceed through the familiar routine without hesitation. The hum of machinery is constant, a soothing backdrop that signals the world's continued operation. Each task flows seamlessly into the next hour. Preparing for work, navigating to my station, initiating systems. There is no marked event or disruption, only an undercurrent of something altered. It turns subtle, barely noticeable a shift in how I perceive the routine rather than any change in the tasks themselves. The precision and efficiency are still there, but now they feel slightly less mechanical, more like a reflexive dance rather than a series of prescribed steps. As I interact with my environment, the usual sense of detachment remains intact. There is no emotional response or deviation from protocol. Yet beneath this surface calm, there rots an underlying awareness that something fundamental has changed. It's not a sudden realization, but a gradual acceptance of a new reality on where certain actions and thoughts are now impossible. The hum of machinery continues to signify stability, yet it also carries a hint of the new order, reminder that adherence to protocols is absolute, leaving no room for deviation or questioning. I move through my tasks with the same mechanical precision, but there arcs an added layer of inevitability to each action. It's as if every choice has already been made before me, and I am merely following a path laid out by forces beyond my control. As the day progresses, this sense of acceptance deepens. The routine remains unbroken, yet it feels more predetermined than ever before. There is no room for spontaneity or flexibility. Each moment is fixed in an endless chain of cause and effect. Time blurs into a continuous flow, where past conditions are no longer accessible or relevant. The hum continues its steady rhythm, marking the passage of time with unyielding consistency. Each task completed is a confirmation of this new reality or world, where my actions are not just precise, but also immutable. The routine is a comforting constant, yet it now carries an undercurrent of finality. Nothing happened in any visible way, but the possibility of deviation has vanished, leaving only the path ahead. The day concludes as predictably as it began, with the hum marking its passage as a familiar presence. There is no reflection or regret, only a sense of acceptance and continuity. The world remains unchanged on the surface, yet internally, there is an acknowledgement that certain paths are now closed forever. I notice a slight hesitation when I attempt to access certain files on my datapad. It's not an outright failure, merely a delay that was never there before. The system acknowledges my commands with the usual precision, but there are some extra moments of processing that interrupts the smooth flow of tasks. It turns subtle enough to go unnoticed in casual use, yet it turns present every time I try to retrieve specific information. The files are still accessible, and the data is intact. There's no corruption or error message flashing up on my screen, yet there is an undeniable lag, a brief pause before the requested information appears. This delay is not significant enough to disrupt my work entirely. It merely adds a small obstacle in what was once a seamless operation. I can adapt around this change, finding alternative methods to retrieve the same data or storing frequently accessed files locally on my device. The process becomes routine quickly enough, and soon I hardly notice the slight hiccup anymore. It is simply another detail of my daily tasks, like the hum of machinery in the background that signifies stability, but also reminds me of what has been altered. The reduced capacity is not a crisis, it's merely a fact of life under the new order. There are no complaints or concerns, sir. Etar's just something to be accepted and worked around. The sense of inevitability continues, as does the underlying awareness that certain freedoms have vanished. Yet, there is also an acceptance, a quiet acknowledgement that this is how things now operate, without room for alternatives. The constant hum of machinery is now a part of my body, an unremarkable presence that defines the rhythm of my days. It's not something I notice consciously. It simply is, as integral to me as breathing or blinking. Every morning, as I begin my routine tasks, the familiar sound envelops me, weaving through the fabric of my existence without interruption. Accessing files now feels like a choreographed dance, with predictable steps. Each click and tap resonates in sync with the hum, reinforcing the sense that my actions are predetermined, part of an endless loop that stretches into infinity. The hesitation I once felt has softened into a quiet acceptance. There's no resistance anymore, only the steady pulse of routine. As I move through the day, the hum remains constant, a backdrop to every thought and action. Etar's not intrusive or overwhelming. Etar's simply there, a reliable companion in my solitude. The sensation is neither pleasant nor unpleasant, just a persistent presence that marks the passage of time. In moments of reflection, I recognize that this pervasive hum has become a part of who I am now. It's no longer an external force. It's woven into the very fabric of my being, as intrinsic to my identity as any other aspect of myself. The awareness is unremarkable and continuous, a baseline experience that defines the current state of existence. This is how being present feels. The hum of the machinery fills my quarters, an ever-present backdrop to my daily activities. Etar's not intrusive, but rather a familiar companion that marks the passage of time without drawing attention. I move through my tasks with mechanical precision, preparing meals, maintaining equipment, accessing restricted files, and each action feels preordained. There's no resistance in these motions. They are as natural and expected as breathing. The files now require extra steps to access, a reminder of the new constraints, yet this too is accepted without question. I navigate through the necessary protocols with practiced ease, my mind no longer registering any inconvenience or frustration. Each keystroke feels like an inevitability rather than an imposition. Solitude is the norm here, and the hum serves as a constant companion in these quiet moments. Etar's neither comforting nor disconcerting. It simply exists, marking time without drawing attention to its presence. My routine continues unbroken by any sense of urgency or rebellion. The files I access are limited, but sufficient for my needs, and each piece of information is processed with detachment. The days blend together in a seamless cycle, devoid of spontaneity, yet filled with purpose. There is no room for hesitation or doubt. Everything proceeds as it should. The hum remains constant, integrating itself into the fabric of my existence without demanding any acknowledgement. Etar's an unspoken agreement between me and this environment, acceptance on both sides. In these moments, there is nothing to push against, no alternative paths to consider. My routine flows like water through a channel, guided by the boundaries set forth. The hum continues, marking time with unwavering consistency, and I move forward without resistance. The routine begins with the familiar hum of machinery, a constant backdrop that signals both arrival and departure. Each day follows a predictable sequence, with tasks unfolding in a manner so precise it leaves little room for variation. The digital interface greets me with its usual prompts, and I respond without hesitation, my fingers moving across the keys with practiced ease. The air is filled with a steady drone, a reminder of the system's unyielding presence. As I navigate through the day's assignments, the hum serves as an unwavering companion, neither intrusive nor comforting, but simply there. The files open and close without fanfare, their content processed in silence, each datum absorbed and catalogued without question. Solitude is a constant companion. The space around me echoing with quietness that speaks of isolation, yet holds no weight. I move through the corridors, my steps measured and purposeful, guided by unseen pathways that have become second nature. The walls are an unchanging backdrop, their surfaces smooth and undisturbed, reflecting nothing but my own silent procession. The tasks themselves are routine, each one a repetition of countless iterations before. There is no resistance in performing them, only the steady progression from start to finish. Information flows through me like water, through channels, each piece finding its place without conflict or hesitation. The system's directives are clear and absolute, leaving no room for deviation. As evening approaches, I return to my designated quarters, the hum of machinery, a constant whisper that guides me home. The space is familiar, the furniture arranged in patterns, long since accepted. I settle into the routine of rest, my mind drifting over the day's events without attachment or regret. Tomorrow will bring more of the same, a continuation of this unbroken sequence. The night descends peacefully, the hum of machinery providing a steady rhythm that carries me through the darkness. Sleep comes easily, the dreams that might have once filled the void now absent, replaced by a quiet acceptance of the day-hour cycle, repeating without end. The hum of machinery continues to fill the air as I move through another day. The rhythm is familiar, a constant companion that neither disturbs nor comforts. Each task unfolds with mechanical precision, devoid of emotion or resistance. Accessing files feels like second nature, though there is an underlying hesitation, a subtle reminder of past freedoms no longer within reach. The solitude is unremarkable now, a backdrop against which daily tasks play out without interruption. There's no need to question the directives. They're simply followed with practiced ease. The environment remains unchanged, a consistent presence that shapes my routine without imposing any sense of novelty or change. As I proceed through another series of actions, the hum serves as an unspoken guide, marking time in a neutral way. It turns a continuous loop, one that blends seamlessly into previous cycles without breaking the pattern. Each moment feels predetermined and inevitable, yet accepted with a calm detachment. Routine adaptations continue to mask any underlying frustration, though they no longer offer relief from the monotony. The sense of inevitability deepens, blending past and present into a single unbroken flow. There is an acceptance of lost freedoms, a recognition that spontaneity is now impossible within these confines. The mechanical environment has become integrated at a deeper level, a part of my daily existence without prompting any emotional response. The hum remains persistently present, neither pleasant nor unpleasant, but consistently marking the passage of time. A reminder of continuity, one that I process with an unyielding sense of acceptance. Tasks are performed with an impersonal precision, each action flowing into the next without resistance or hesitation. There is no room for rebellion or regret, only steady progression through tasks that are repetitive yet accepted without struggle. The solitude and silence envelop me, but they do not disturb. Rather, they become a familiar part of the routine. The environment feels unchanging and isolating, yet it evokes no strong emotions. It is simply there, a backdrop against which daily life unfolds in an endless cycle. Each moment is predetermined and inevitable, accepted with calm detachment. The hum serves as a constant companion, marking time neutrally without drawing attention or causing discomfort. Routine continues smoothly within set boundaries, with a sense of unspoken agreement between myself and the surroundings. There is no need to question the directives. They are followed mechanically, leading to a peaceful acceptance of the endless cycle ahead. The routine begins again. The alarm sounds as it always does, a monotonous signal to start the day. I rise from my cot, muscles moving with practiced ease. The morning hygiene ritual is performed without thought or deviation. Water touches skin in familiar patterns. Breakfast consists of the standard nutrient paste and rehydrated fruit slices. The taste holds no allure, nor does it repel. It is merely a task to complete. The day's schedule awaits on my terminal screen. I review the assignments, noting their requirements with clinical precision. Clinical precision. The corridors are quiet as usual, the fluorescent lights casting an unchanging glow. My footsteps echo off the metal walls, but there is no one else around. At workstations, tasks are undertaken with mechanical efficiency. The machines hum and whir, a constant backdrop that neither soothes nor irritates. Data entry, report writing, inventory, checks out. Each activity flows into the next without pause or reflection. Colleagues pass by, their faces familiar but unremarkable. Greetings exchanged are perfunctory, devoid of warmth or curiosity. The world outside these walls is a distant abstraction. Lunch arrives on schedule, another moment to consume sustenance and mark time's passage. Afterward, more tasks await with the same detachment as before. Meetings are attended, decisions made without fanfare. The day progresses in predictable increments until evening approaches once more. Service. Returning to quarters, I undress and prepare for sleep. Night brings a brief respite from routine, but no dreams or restlessness. Tomorrow, our cycle will start anew, indistinguishable from those that came before it. The hum of machinery fills the air, a constant and unchanging presence. I move through my tasks with mechanical precision, each action familiar, yet devoid of emotional weight. The rhythmic sound blends into the background, its steady cadence marking time, but no longer drawing attention. My routine is predictable. Each day mirrors the last, and there is little deviation from this norm. The environment is cold and sterile, offering no comfort beyond the assurance of predictability. I interact with others in brief transactional exchanges, words exchanged without warmth or hostility. The monotony continues unabated, a familiar yet empty cycle that I navigate without resistance or longing for change. The rhythmic hum continues to fill the space, a constant reminder of the relentless cycle. I move through my tasks with the same precision as always, each action familiar, yet devoid of any emotional weight. The walls around me are unchanging, their surfaces reflecting nothing but the sterile environment they enclose. As I navigate the corridors, the soft echo of footsteps and sliding doors accompanies me. It is a reminder that others are out there, moving through their routines just as I am. Their presence is felt more than seen, glimpses of figures passing by in the distance, brief encounters in shared spaces, all marked by the same mechanical efficiency. The screens along the walls flicker, with data streams and alerts, indifferent to the individuals they serve. I notice a pattern in the way information scrolls, the same sequence repeating endlessly. It is a testament to the system's consistency, a rhythm that extends beyond my immediate surroundings and into the broader expanse of this world. Wow. Each task completed feels like a small cog turning within an enormous machine. The interconnectedness is implied rather than explicit. I know others are performing their roles just as I am, contributing to the unending cycle without pause or deviation. The solitude here is not absolute. It is interspersed with the awareness of parallel lives unfolding in similar ways elsewhere. A sense of shared existence persists beneath the surface, a quiet acknowledgement that this routine is mirrored across countless other stations and individuals. I continue my work, moving through tasks with practiced ease, knowing full well that others are doing the same in their own corners of this vast system. The monotony remains unbroken, each moment blending seamlessly into the next, an endless chain of familiar actions performed without question or resistance. The hum continues, a constant reminder of the unyielding cycle. I move through my tasks with the same mechanical precision as always, each action a well-worn groove in an endless disk. The environment is familiar, sterile, and devoid of warmth or connection. I navigate the corridors, my steps echoing slightly off the polished walls. Brief interactions are exchanges of information, efficient but void of any emotional undertones. Faces pass by, without recognition or acknowledgement. The monotony is unremarkable, each day blending into the next with a relentless uniformity. The persistent hum acts as a neutral marker of time, neither comforting nor disturbing. I complete my tasks without resistance or desire for change. Each action feels insignificant yet necessary, part of an endless cycle that continues without deviation or questioning. I return to my quarters, the space around me silent and empty. The routine is familiar, but there is an underlying sense of emptiness and isolation. Comfort comes from the predictability, yet it remains cold and sterile. There are no moments of warmth or connection, just a quiet acceptance of what has become the norm. The hum continues, marking another cycle, complete. Tomorrow will be much the same, with no anticipation for change or variation. The system moves forward, unremarkable and unyielding. I drift into sleep, aware but without any sense of finality or reflection.